All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. I'm Jake Hari alongside Steve Homercleese Bauer. We're going to talk through the 8 games on tonight's slate. A couple of big tournaments on each of the sites. Not great payout structures, but big top prizes nonetheless. So it should be a fun night of NHL DFS. Steve, how are you doing on this Tuesday afternoon?
Not too bad. It's a little shitty out weather-wise, but fine to be inside making some lineups for tonight. Looking, like you said, those lineup structures are pretty shitty, but still nice top prizes there. So hopefully we can get some good luck on our side tonight.
Yeah, some good luck. Better to be lucky than good, right? So,
Absolutely.
8 games. There's a few games that I don't have a great read on. I was telling you before this. But yeah, that's what the show's for. So hopefully we get a good crowd in here. We usually do on Tuesdays anyways because it is a bigger NHL day. There's not much NBA tonight. There's 3 games, so playable. But hopefully some people move on over to NHL for tonight. What do you think about the slate in general? Do you see any big ownership spots we should talk about right off the bat? Maybe, I don't know, that Florida-New York Rangers game looks pretty good to me. Pittsburgh-Edmonton probably will have some ownership in the late-night hammer, but I don't see anything overly concerning as far as ownership. What do you think?
Yeah, nothing lopsided, I don't think. It should be somewhat spread out. I mean, yeah, you'll see more ownership probably in this first game and then also in the late game as well, as you mentioned.
Yeah. All right, so we're on the same page there. Couple lineup moves. We'll talk about Dallas's top line, I know, is one of them. Tyler Pitlick going to get a shot with Sagan and Ben with Radulov out. Anaheim 1 is a little bit switched around with Nick Ritchie on the top line, so there's value all over the place. It's not going to be too tough to get a lot of solid players because we got a couple forward punts in there. And yeah, some good pivots, I think, to the high ownership game. So all in all, looks like a pretty fun slate. Again, you guys can use the promo code Hit the Ice. You get a free 7-day trial to any non-Fantasy Cruncher Osmo.com NHL premium package. You can try out my projections for a week. You can try out Osmo's rankings that he does for NHL player and stack rankings. And then you can join for the season or monthly, get access to the Slack chat. Lineup builder, you can test out for a week, which is right on the screen here. Got the team totals, you've got a nice visual, and it's really good for hand building. So there's not a lot of MME tournaments tonight, so I'm probably going to be using some Osmo.com lineup builders tonight, building a handful of lineups here. Yeah, let's just get into it now, right? Not much else to talk about as far as housekeeping, so let's go. First game on the screen is Florida and the New York Rangers. We've got Michael Hutchinson going up against Alexander Georgiev. I can never do it.
So I always call him Georgie, but I believe it's pronounced Georgiev.
Georgiev? Oh man,
Yeah.
I would have never got that.
Yeah, I heard it once on a broadcast. Hoping, assuming the announcer was getting it right. But.
Yeah. Usually they're pretty good about checking with the players. But anyways, 3.3 implied total for Florida, 3.1 for the Rangers. We've got 2 pretty cheap goalies. Should be a high event game here. Couple lines I'm looking at. I like Florida 2 and the top line for the Rangers. Top line for the Rangers is a little bit switched around with Zuccarello up there instead of Jesper Fast. So not great value there, but I think it is a pretty good spot. They're probably going to see a lot of the Barkov line, which hasn't been all that great defensively so far this season. So what do you see in this game, Steve?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I like the best, would be Florida 2. I do like both Florida lines, though. I think both Florida lines and then the top line for the Rangers. What's interesting is that I'm trying to look back at some data over the last couple of years. That Zuccarello's barely played with these guys.
Yeah.
We never really see this combination, which is kind of surprising considering they're usually on the power play together and they're the best 3 players. But yeah, definitely like that top line there. Florida's pretty, that Barkov line does have a pretty high expected goals against and shots allowed against, or sorry, yeah, shot attempts allowed. So I think there's definitely it's a reasonable spot there, but also the Florida penalty kill is pretty bad, and Hutchinson's a pretty bad goalie, so I don't mind attacking that at all.
Yeah, full correlation with Zuccarello there on the top line.
Nice.
So yeah, you can throw in Shattenkirk, who is 5K on FanDuel. Let's see what we got on DraftKings here. Yeah, so Zuccarello is not as cheap as Fost on DK either, but 4,900. So
that's pretty nice though.
Yeah, he's fine. And yeah, Shattenkirk at 4,900 there. So you said you like that Florida top line going up against Zibanejad, Kreider, Zuccarello. Well, first of all, is that how you have the matchups going?
Yeah, that's what I would assume, just based on what the Rangers have been doing. They've been hard matching so far: 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, and so on.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the Zibanejad line with Kreider has been super high pace, so I understand the Barkov call there.
Well, it's just that I think Barkov's such a strong two-way player; he can excel in almost any matchup. So,
do you think?
And sometimes they change things up. You never really know. So given how much variance there is, I think I wouldn't want to rule him out. But obviously, I do prefer the second line a little bit more.
Okay. Do you think the Zuccarello on the top line makes that line better defensively? Do you think that makes much of a difference?
I don't think it makes them better defensively. I don't think Zuccarello is a particularly strong defensive player.
Okay.
So.
All right, good to know. Defensemen here or goalies, anything stick out to you?
Pionk is interesting to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's up to 4,600 on DK, so not a great value, but he's a guy that's been shooting and he's been getting a lot of assists. I know he's been on the score sheet quite a bit. Brady Shea is only 3,500 too on the Rangers.
Yeah, that's nice too because he's top pairing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and so he's getting a lot of minutes. It's mostly been Pionk and Shea getting all the minutes at even strength. And so yeah, I do like that.
And then just looking at the pricing discrepancy between Yandel and Ekblad, that's kind of crazy. $2,600 difference on DraftKings. You rarely see anything like that between those two guys. So I'm going to still take some chances on Ekblad, even though I don't know what's going on with him. He hasn't been great, and you can see by his price. So DK has decided to price him down, but 6 shots last game that's encouraging. Yeah. And he did see, he's seeing the minutes too, so I don't know why he wouldn't be. He's just not getting on the. Yeah, he's just not getting on the score sheet. So.
Yeah, he did have that. When he got sucker punched by Domi there in the preseason, that might have had some kind of impact on him. I know he's had concussion issues in the past, so I don't know. Maybe he's just it looked like he kind of broke his nose or something. The way he had all those both black eyes. So I don't know. Maybe he's just kind of a little hesitant early in the year, a little timid. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, that's fair. Encouraging to see the minutes. Shots on goal have been okay. So hopefully he starts shooting a little bit more. And 3,800, I like that value for him. The problem is there's no correlation on the power play to that second line. So that's my only beef with them. Are you going to pay 6,400 for Yandel?
It's not ideal. Yeah. Not ideal, certainly. Only in GPPs with stacks there, I think.
Yeah, just if you're stacking one of the top 2 lines, then you can afford him. But there are just so many defensemen I would have ahead of him in a one-off scenario.
Yeah, so they did split the 2 up. So I don't know how they're really matching them on the road there. If they want to, I wouldn't be surprised if Ekblad did see some even strength time with the second line. I wouldn't completely rule that out. Just depends how they want to deploy them. But I imagine that's going to be more of the shutdown pairing Matheson and Ekblad than Yandel and Petrovic.
All right. And then goalies here. Hutchinson is 7,000, so it's just a price play really, but he is a favorite, I guess. He's not a very good goalie, just a correlation play for me if you're going there. But like if I'm making 20 lineups, he maybe makes 1, maybe 2, if I'm stacking Florida heavily. But yeah, that's really about it for this game.
Yeah, he's showing up. He's popping in a lot of projection systems that I'm looking at so far, so that's kind of scary. But I mean, he did last game against Detroit too, similar pricing, and it worked for about a period.
Yeah.
And then fell apart. So I don't know. I don't know why they're going with Hutchinson. Reimer's not having a good season at all for sure, but I'd still rather go with Reimer and trust that he'll get his game back.
Has Hutchinson ever been good? Like, has he ever even had like
He
a
had
very
a,
good
he had
stretch?
a little hot, maybe a hot streak early on in his career with Winnipeg.
Yeah.
That's about it. But then he just kind of fell off the map.
All right. All right, let's move it on to the next game. Got 7 more to go. We'll go Arizona and Columbus. 2.4 implied total for Arizona, 3 for Columbus. This is one where it's really the top line for Columbus. They're not coming up a ton for me because of their pricing on DraftKings, but I do like the spot, and they've been doing some more hard matching. So I don't know if they're going to see more time against the Galchenyuk line or the Derek Stepan line.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how they're going to lean there?
That's going to be one of those that are tough to figure out because how do you determine which one's the top line? I think they probably assume Galchenyuk and Keller are the top line. They're at least the most dangerous offensively. So.
Okay. Yeah, Stepan's the guy that comes up for me as a good value.
Yeah, if you look at their last game against Chicago, they didn't really match all that hard with 2 top lines there. They had a slight lean with Atkinson, Dubois, Panarin against the Kane line, but they still played a pretty decent amount against the other lines. So
I thought I saw a couple home games ago that they like heavily saw an opposing top line. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
It's possible. I mean, the Philly game a little bit.
Yeah,
it
wasn't crazy, but
no.
Yeah.
They you know what, they kind of get them out against a couple lines usually.
The top,
like they'll play against first and third or something like that, or first and second.
Okay. And
then other lines will play against 2 lines. But Tortorella is a tough guy to figure out.
Yeah, for sure.
He's always on some crazy tangent or whim or whatever there.
Or healthy scratching Cam Atkinson or
yeah.
That was fun. All right, so do you like the top line for Columbus here? I mean, even with no hard match, just against Arizona in general and Antti Ranta?
I kind of do. Arizona's been pretty good defensively, but now you're bringing Galchenyuk into the fold, and he's not a good defensive player. So I think you can definitely target that line.
Okay. That's really the only one I'm looking at here. Duclair obviously had that unreal goal a few games ago. He's with Wenberg and Foligno. That doesn't really do a ton for me. It's an okay value line with a 3 total, but I'm not really looking at other stacks here on Columbus's side. And then on Arizona's side, it's really Stepan is the only guy that I'm going to have some exposure to, or maybe Stepan and Fisher, Stepan Perlini mini stack or something. But that's really all I have. So take it away if you got anything else in this game.
Columbus side, that top line is obviously the best by far. The Wenberg line's pretty bad defensively. They give up a lot of shot attempts against and expected goals / scoring chances. So, but the thing is, Arizona looks like a good team by all the expected goals, shot attempt metrics. They're due for positive regression. I don't know when it's going to come, but right now, they're kind of struggling to get their guys back healthy. As far as the second line goes, maybe there's a little bit of interest there if they will see a touch more of the depth, but nothing I want to go too crazy on in this spot. I think there's better games to target.
Is it so when you say that a team is due for positive regression?
Yeah.
So does that just mean you're more likely to be on them for a few games in a row? Yeah. So you just want to be on them early.
Yep.
I know Ben Raza, our PGA guy, very sharp there. He talks about that in golf. Like if he's going to be on a guy, he's going to be on a guy for 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row until he thinks that regression is coming. So
as long as those positive indicators are there, their shot attempts and expected goals are there right now, and then the only thing that's lagging is their shooting percentage. So I think that's bound to improve, especially as you get more of these skilled players back in the lineup. Yeah. Galchenyuk and Keller are obviously very talented. Stepan's more of a 2-way kind of volume guy, but Fisher and Perlini have a bit of offense as well. So I don't mind that. I might play a little bit of the 2 Arizona lines, hoping to get that matchup against the Wenberg line, but I'm not going to go crazy here.
Okay. And then Lawson Krause, top line, 3K. I don't know much about him, but
yeah, I've always just kind of written him off.
Yeah,
I never really looked into him just because he's always been a fourth line sort of guy. But he was a high draft pick, I believe.
Okay.
Just not known for his offense.
I should also mention that Seth Jones is back for this game.
That's actually, yeah.
So he is listed on the second.
Buried the lead.
Yes, quote unquote second power play, but that's with Dubois and Atkinson. So Columbus is still doing this thing where they're balancing out the power play units. So Werenski is on the top power play, Jones on the second. It doesn't really matter. They're still on top pairing. They're going to see a lot of time at even strength with the Columbus top line. So I much prefer Jones here, even coming off the injury. But where are you at for defensemen all over the place in this game?
Yeah, mainly still on Werenski rather than Jones, especially considering those prices. And Jones is coming back with the injury, first game back, right? So,
do you think they limit his minutes?
Not even that. I just think he'll just be a little bit rusty.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Werenski's very interesting still, and maybe Ekman-Larsson. That's pretty much it. One thing to mention, Galchenyuk. I'm not seeing him in. Is he a winger here on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. They just So it's 3 wingers. Yeah, okay, 3 wingers there. So if you were gonna play that Arizona top line, I'm cool with just going Keller or Galchenyuk.
Okay.
Back in that, but minimal pieces of this game, I think.
Goalies, Ranta, 6,900.
I do like both goalies.
Yeah, Bobrovsky more of a cash option. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. He's going to see volume. Arizona's generating shots, but they're just not getting it through. So there is potential here to see a decent amount of volume for 8,400. So normally I don't want to pay up if the goalie's not going to see volume, but in this case it makes sense.
All right. Let's go to Calgary and Montreal. We've got a pretty even game right here, about a 6 total, but a little over 3 for Calgary, 2.9 for Montreal, and I'm actually seeing it at 5.5 at another spot. So what do you have for the total here?
I saw 5.5.
So we have it at 6 or closer to 6 right now, but I don't know. So it's gonna be 5.5 or 6. Doesn't make a huge difference to me. But we've got David Rittich going for Calgary, Carey Price for Montreal, both 7,500 on DraftKings. I don't know. I'll let you talk about this game. I started to talk first in the first couple of games. So what do you see in this one overall? Line matching, lines that stick out to you, anything like that?
Yeah, it seems pretty clear. We're probably going to see the top lines go head-to-head, and I'll take the Montreal top line in that matchup any day at even strength. The one appealing part of the Calgary top line is the power play correlation there. I think that's where you want to target Montreal if you're going to do it at all. And I think that Calgary second line, we usually have the whole routine of Calgary top line at home, Calgary second line on the road sort of deal. So I think that makes sense in this spot.
Yeah. Tkachuk on that top power play is probably where I'd go for that Calgary second line. Don't really love Frolik. But Backlund's fine. I don't know. I like that line. I like their numbers. But on a bigger slate, I usually try to get away. So I
think Calgary's a little overpriced in general. I mean, at least the top line.
Yeah, man. They've got a decent total or whatever on the road, but $7K and 7,300 for Monahan and Gaudreau, and then Lindholm like 58. That's pretty expensive for him too.
He's been pretty good this year, but yeah.
No, and I mean, like Ferland wasn't even getting up that high last year when they were rolling. So just a really expensive line, and I don't think that great of a spot. Like you mentioned, the Montreal 1 has been really good at even strength, 68% Corsi 4 percentage. They're doing a good job limiting chances in their own end and creating a ton on the opponent's end. So yeah, Montreal 1 is a stack for me. Fairly priced, I think. Danault doesn't get power play exposure, but you can leave him off and go with like a Domi or something if you want to just have a power play 1 stack with Jeff Petrie. So that's what I like in this game. Giordano, if you're going to the Calgary top line, and then that's about it. Like any punts here, Rasmus Anderson, Mike Riley, Juleson, Any guys like that pique your interest?
Maybe Riley a touch being on some power play time, but nothing. Yeah, nothing that really stands out to me. Just like mainly the top guys there. Riley 39 is fine. Beyond that, maybe Juleson 2600 is not too bad. If he really needs to punt down there, I don't hate that, but it's not going to be a priority for me or anything.
Okay. And just something I noticed last game, the Monahan line allowed 13 scoring chances and 9 high danger chances to the Zibanejad line in their last game at even strength. Like that, those are awful defensive numbers. They've been one of the worst lines in the NHL in their own end. So really, really good matchup for Montreal 1. So I'm going to try to get there quite a bit in my GPP lineups. Goalies here, both 7,500. I like Price more than Rittich. And I'm not really stacking Calgary, so I probably won't end up on Rittich much at all. But Price is going to be a guy that's one of my highest exposed goalies.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel the same way. I'm interested in both sides a little bit, given the pricing on DraftKings there. But yeah, I do favor Price.
Osmo has him as a D points grade, D value, so not a rousing endorsement there, but two good defensive players that are cheap. On the whole slate, Demetrius, or what are you talking about here? In this game? There are a couple in this game. Riley. I think Juleson's fine. And then who else have we talked about?
I think he just wants in general, but...
Yeah. There was a couple that we talked about earlier. Maybe not. Well, we'll go on and...
I think Petrie's fine to go with, too, as well, Jason.
Yeah.
It's part of the stack. I think that's a good... you can do Gallagher, Tatar, and Petrie or something like that. It's fine 3-man.
Oh, yeah, I love that. All right, so let's go to the next game, Boston and Ottawa. We have a 3.3 implied total for the Bruins, 2.7 for the Senators. Boston top line, crazy expensive on DraftKings, but hard not to like them here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're against Ottawa. Yeah, it's on the road, but they crushed Ottawa at home. There's really no matchup that should worry you. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're going to see the Zach Smith, Payarvi, Tom Pyatt line against them, against Boston 1.
Could be, yeah. I do.
They're the fourth line right now on a couple different sites, and according to the beat writers. So I don't know if that's going to hold up, but if that's the case, that's just a terrible matchup for Ottawa.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, there is no matchup Ottawa could put out that I would be scared off that Boston top line.
Yeah.
Absolutely none. But I think that could be the worst line.
Yeah.
All it really does is it makes the other Ottawa lines more playable.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I mean, it's just pretty much Boston won in this game for me. If I was going to an Ottawa line, it would be the Duchesne, Bodker, and Colin White trio, but just because they're dirt cheap, all three of them together. But do you have an Ottawa line that you're really liking?
The second one, the Tierney, Stone, and Dzingel line.
Why is that? Just because they're going to avoid Boston 1?
Yeah, just because Mark Stone's their best player.
Okay.
And Tierney's played pretty well for a cheap price. Let me just see what he's at right now tonight.
48 on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's a bit much it's a bit too much than what I'd like to pay for him, but I mean, Zingel's 44, Stone is 52.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that line probably the best.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting him for comfortably under 15K, so or 14.4 I think total. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
And they've only 8.5 minutes together this year. Just the last game, but it was a very good game. It was 85 shot attempts per 60 versus 32 against. So I know very very small sample size, but I have a feeling that's their best possession line. All right. And also, if you look at Boston, the big story is their injuries right now. Mm-hmm. Charlie McAvoy's out, Torrey Krug's been out, Kevin Miller's out, and David Backes is out. I don't think that really hurts them all that much, but in general, those are some pretty weak defensive pairings beyond the Chara-Carlo pairing. So I think that the Ottawa can take advantage. I don't know who's going to be able to take advantage here, but I think Ottawa can put up some goals here.
Yeah, and Tuukka has been really bad so far on the season as well. So,
I mean, he will pick it up. He usually does.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his exact stats against Ottawa, but I mean, I feel like he's played well in the past.
So we're seeing Grzelcyk on the top power play still for Boston. He's 4,300, but then everyone else is pretty cheap besides Chara, at least on DraftKings. There's a lot of possible punts here on both sides. Chabot down at 4,800, more manageable price. Lejoie, is that
Lejoie?
He's your guy. He's an A value in Osmo's rankings. So he likes him there. Would that be the guy you'd want to pair with that second line?
I think it's reasonable, yeah. He's seeing pretty good minutes, and consistent shots on goal. He's getting at least 3 a game.
Okay.
I think that's fine. I think Chabot's not bad either. Boston's been taking a lot of penalties, and their penalty kill hasn't been great this year.
All right. I'm just trying to look up to see how many minutes Carlo's playing. I saw 20
He'll
last
see
game.
a lot of minutes tonight.
Yeah.
He'll see a lot tonight, for sure. I can tell you that.
Not bad for 2,900 there. Pretty good value.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Are you staying away from Tuukka?
He's not much of a great fantasy guy, but he could, he'll probably see the ice with the Bergeron line a fair amount if Ottawa decides to put some of their better offensive guys. So there is potential there, maybe some shot blocks and shots on goal and stuff.
Sure. Are you staying away from Tuukka on DraftKings at least 7,900 on the road? You mentioned Boston's penalty kill has been not up to par, so that's a little scary for me. What about you?
Yeah, so the thing with Ottawa is they've been really overachieving as far as the shooting percentage goes. They're one of the lowest teams as far as shots on goal per game, but they have the highest shooting percentage in the league. So they're due for a negative progression, their offense. I don't know when it's going to come, but so it's hard to say. I don't know if there's enough value there on Rask tonight.
All right. And then Craig Anderson for Ottawa. I don't know. Do you think he's a good goalie here? I mean, do you think he's a good goalie in general? I don't know.
I think he's fine. He's capable of good games.
Yeah. I don't know. I just see people on Twitter constantly bashing him. I didn't know what your thoughts were. I'm more on the DFS side than the real life side, so I don't know a ton.
I don't think he's a great goalie, but he is capable of some good performances.
All right. So 7,200 there would be a correlation play for me only. Let's go to the next game. We're going to go to San Jose and Nashville. We have a 2.6 implied total for San Jose, 2.9 for the Predators. Martin Jones going on the road to face UC Saros. First thing that stuck out to me was that San Jose's top line is super cheap. So they were coming up for me when I was just running some basic crunches this morning. So that's going to be a line I'm going to have exposure to just because their possession numbers are insane. Kane and Pavelski, going back to when Kane came over last year, they've just been crazy good at creating high danger chances. So it's a tough spot in Nashville. They're probably going to see a lot of the Johansson, Forsberg, Arvidsson line, but I'm probably going to have some exposure there, just even for power play time that these guys get. So what do you like in this game overall?
This is the toughest game for me to figure out with two good teams playing against each other. Much like the St. Louis Winnipeg last night, you can never really tell which way it's going to go, whether it's going to be a shootout or a tight checking game. In general, I like the way the Sharks have been playing at 5-on-5. They have the best numbers in the league as far as those leading indicators go. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, their record's not that good, but I do have some interest in San Jose tonight. Trying to see how has Nashville been matching at home. I didn't get a chance to look that up.
Johansson versus the opposing top line, and then Turris kind of 2 and 3. Yeah,
trying to pull up their last home game.
It's like 8 to 10 minutes depending on the game, 7 to 10 or so. I mean, they're seeing the majority of the time against the opposing top lines, from what I saw.
Yeah. This is the trickiest game.
I agree.
I'll have to think about this one a little bit more. This is by far the trickiest one, but I do like the top two Sharks lines for sure. Just based on their even strength numbers, they're pretty phenomenal here, and I think on the Sharks side, their 5-on-5 play has been great. They've been taking a lot of penalties though, and their penalty kill's not that great. So I think Nashville power play would be how I would go on the other side.
Yep. San Jose 5 times shorthanded per game on the road so far this year.
Yeah.
Pretty concerning. So, yeah, Nashville power play here for me.
That's probably how I'll handle it, I think.
It's just, two good teams, a lot of good numbers on both sides, offensively and defensively. So it's just the worst when that happens. It's because you can just see the 2-1 game. You can see the 5-4 where it's just back and forth, and I don't know.
They're both priced down because it is a tougher matchup.
Yeah, but if this game's played at 5-on-4, you could be seeing a ton of fantasy points coming from this one. So I wouldn't get scared off from the 5.5 total. This is one that's grown on me. I think I'm more of the mindset that I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. And the pricing is so cheap. So like Roman Josi for 5,500, love him there. Brent Burns is affordable, so is Erik Karlsson, especially when you factor in that top line for San Jose. So, I'm on both sides of this game. I think this is going to be pretty sneaky. I don't think we're going to see a ton of ownership, especially on the Shark side, but even on Nashville's.
So I'm seeing both goalies kind of popping a lot in some projections and stuff, especially Saros. I wonder if he'll be popular tonight, a popular play. I think the Sharks could go a little overlooked here.
Man, I don't know why Saros would be. I mean, he's like the sexy name or whatever.
Just look at his last game, and he's had a pretty good record to start the year, but his numbers hadn't been great until the last game.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's 8K on DraftKings. Osmo's got him as an A value, so that's interesting there. Usually doesn't have 8K goalies priced out that high. So obviously very talented and capable of huge performances, but not someone I would have loved as a value. So I'm going to be under the field on Saros for sure. Nashville's a team that also takes a ton of penalties, so that's a little bit worrisome.
They've been a little bit better this year, I think, but the season's young, right? So, and they haven't changed that much. So maybe I know that was their tendency last year, was to take a lot of penalties.
Corsi, what is the face for in chat there? And then we've got another couple questions. Jason Kelly, would you go to Petrie then too? I think you mentioned you like Petrie, right, Steve?
Yeah. Yep.
I like Petrie as well, especially if you're going with Tatar and Gallagher. Connor McDavid or Malkin and Cash. That's one we'll get to, but who would you lean to? Just kind of preview.
I mean, probably McDavid.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I haven't looked closely at the pricing, so.
Yeah, I agree.
Until we get there. At those prices, McDavid.
Right. I mean, if that's your last guy in, you've got a pretty good problem on your hands. But I think I would go McDavid there at home.
Yeah.
Anything else in this game?
There's just so many pieces that I like. It's hard to narrow it down, and especially because we don't know how the matchups are going to play out and all that. I'm going to try to get some exposure here. It's a really tough game to pinpoint. This game has a wide range of outcomes here, given all the talent on both sides, and they're generally strong defensively. So I could see, the offenses are strong, but so are the defenses here. So it's a GPP kind of game for me. I think Burns is a very strong play though for cash.
Yeah, love Brent Burns. Anytime, any format, pretty much. And the shot numbers have not gone down with Karlsson there. They shouldn't anyways, but because they don't play together. But just a note there, 6,600. He's well worth it. All right, another game that I'm a little bit indecisive about what I want to do here. Anaheim and Chicago, we have a 5.5 implied total, a little over 5.5 actually, 2.6 right now to the Ducks, about 3 for the Blackhawks. John Gibson going for Anaheim, Corey Crawford for the Blackhawks. Mentioned off the top of the show that Nick Ritchie is going to be alongside Ryan Getzlaf and Rickard Rakell on the top line for the Ducks. So that makes it quite a bit more affordable. And I would like to I like targeting both of these teams. They've both been really bad defensively at even strength so far. And then some concerning numbers like the Kane line plays super high event. What do you like in this game? How do you see matchups kind of shaking out here?
I really like Chicago here tonight. Anaheim's been the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Somehow they're winning games. It's all John Gibson, and that's gonna come crashing back down to earth at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna be all over those top two Chicago lines, mainly the Taves line with DeBrincat there, and I'll also run it back with some. No, sorry, not in the same lineups, but also hedge with some Gibson because he could face 40 plus shots tonight easily. Both these teams are really bad defensively. That's kind of the key. The Blackhawks are one of the highest paced teams in the league, so there's a lot of room for fantasy points here tonight.
Would it be that top line with Raquel, Getzlaf, and Richie if you're going to one?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just think that's such an obvious full stack. Like Getzlaf and Raquel, you're not used to them being that lowly priced or like fairly priced on DraftKings. It's a bad defensive team. Now you've got Nick Ritchie up there who I mean, he was solid on that third line last year when they were running Henrique with Kasha and him. So I actually don't hate Ritchie up there for 3,700. And you mentioned that Taze was your lean, the Taze line?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Cahoon's still only 3,700, so pretty good value all around in this game. And then I also agree with you on the Gibson call, which is one of the most talented goalies in the league. Fair price, going to see a lot of shots. Hopefully not hung out to dry too much though if you play him. So that's the risk you run playing a Ducks goalie these days.
Mm-hmm.
Goalies. Defenseman here. No one that expensive. Hampus Lindholm, kind of the guy that I think is overpriced at 5,400, but you can make a case for Fowler. You can make a case for Henry Jokey. They're just going to leave it at Jokey. And then
it's
Duncan
finished,
Keith.
so all the J's are Y's.
Yoki?
Yeah.
Yoki
Haru.
Oh, okay. He's from Finland. Is he your lean here or Keith? They're both playing on the top.
Well, so you're looking at the way those power plays are correlated there. I think if you want to play the Hawks top line, you play him with Gustafsson, and if you want to play the Kane line, you play him with Yokiharu or Keith.
Okay. I think that's pretty
those
fair.
are three good defensemen that I like there: Keith, Yokiharu, and Gustafsson.
Yeah. Gustafsson was shooting a ton in the preseason. I haven't checked on him to see if he's been.
He's had a good recent stretch here.
He's shooting a ton.
Yeah.
His game
3 and 4, and then nothing last game.
Okay. Yeah, I like to see those 3 and 4 shot on goal games. Did we mention Crawford at all? I don't he's not someone that does anything for me tonight.
I do like Crawford in general. The downside is that the Hawks give up a lot of stuff, but a lot of shots and scoring chances against. But the Ducks are among the worst in the league as far as generating them at 5-on-5. So I don't think there's a lot of value there at 8,100.
Yeah, not a huge upside performance unless he gets you that shutout.
Yeah. I don't know. The 5.5 total is pretty misleading as well. I think this game is a shootout.
Oh, you think so? 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why this would be a 5.5 total. I guess 2 good goalies in that.
But if you just look at how, maybe they're not factoring in those underlying stats like the shot attempts against and then the scoring chances against, and maybe they're just looking at records and whatever. Mm-hmm. But it seems like 2 terrible defensive teams.
Well, yeah, and even if they're using numbers from last year, I know that the Hawks, especially at home last year, they were crushed as far as shot attempts.
They've been bad defensively the last couple of years.
Yeah. Ducks, same thing. Towards the end of last year, they were pretty awful defensively. And it's not like they're super healthy right now anyways. Right, 2 more to go. Let's do the Kings and the Stars. We've got probably Jonathan Quick going up against Ben Bishop here. 2.5 implied total for the Kings. 2.9 for the Stars. It's not going to be Rupee Hintz on the top line. It's going to be Tyler Pitlick.
Yep.
So a couple beat writers for the Stars confirmed that this morning. Pitlick, 2,900 as you see right here. He's going to also be playing on the top power play I saw. The only issue is that the Seguin line will probably see some time against Kopitar. I know they did that in one game last year. And then they've been matching the Faxa line against opposing top lines at some point as well, but that line's all mixed up too. So what's your read on line matching here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be about that. Seguin maybe against the Kopitar line. Depending on how the game goes, maybe if they're trailing or something like that, if the game's not going well, they're not able to score, then they try to get them away from Kopitar. Mm-hmm. I could see something like that happening. They might attempt to go head-to-head early on. But I think, what was the last game against Minnesota? They ran him against Koivu. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And looking at this Iafallo, Kopitar, Toffoli line, like they have a good Corsi for percentage in 82 minutes going back to the start of last season, 58.8%. So really solid there, but they're giving up quite a few quality chances, 12.6 high danger chances against per 60 minutes, 26 scoring chances against per 60 minutes. So maybe not as stout defensively as we're used to seeing with Kopitar. Still a pretty small sample, but like I'm not scared off of Seguin and Ben because they're probably going to see a lot of Kopitar. So Dallas one, I like. It's hard not to like their prices with the full correlation with Pitlick. I don't know much about Pitlick as a player. Do you?
I can't remember. I pulled up his stats off the top of my head, but I think he was a pretty good possession number guy.
Okay.
As far as shot attempts go.
Okay. Yeah, I just like you see a plug. I don't know. Like,
he's not an offensively talented guy, but I think you don't really need that with Seguin and Ben. You just got to be pretty responsible two ways. The interesting part was that I read this little blurb saying that the coach asked Seguin and Ben who they wanted to play with, and they chose Pitlick. So that's a pretty good sign right there.
That is a good sign. I did see that as well. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think for ownership on this Dallas one, with Pitlick being on there? I don't know. Are people going to be attracted to that just because they're cheap or scared off by the Kings and Kopitar? I don't really have a good read on that.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be the most popular spot. They will have some ownership. Like they're not going to go unowned here. The Kings have been pretty bad defensively the last little bit. I mean, all season their defensive team numbers haven't been great, and then Quick has come back and not been great himself. So that doesn't help things. All
right, and then anything on the depth lines for Dallas? Any Kopitar, Toffoli, minis, or with Iafallo? I don't know, Jeff Carter, Kovalchuk. Any of these guys look interesting to you?
I do like Kopitar and Toffoli there. Yeah, Carter, Kovalchuk, that's not a bad little mini stack. I think I kind of like Bishop a little bit more than the Kings offense here, though.
I agree.
And I'm willing to take some chances on Quick. He hasn't been very good the last couple games, but the Stars are a one-line team as far as offense goes, so if that line's getting shut down by Kopitar, I don't see them scoring that much.
All right. Yeah, I agree with all of that.
Quick is 7,100. I don't mind taking a chance. I mean, the Stars have 2 goals in their last 3 games, and are generating a lot of shots. So,
defenseman in this game, Klingberg, 6,100. I think he's a very obvious guy to go to if you're going to Dallas one, and then Heiskanen or anything on the Kings side.
Hiskanen's okay. I don't love him in the spot.
You said he's not a big shot attempts guy. He's more of like
he's a smooth skater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like a Doughty type.
Yeah. Doughty on the other side. Osmo doesn't like his value.
He's never been a great fantasy player. If they're not scoring goals on the power play, he doesn't really do too much.
Seems like I'm always getting, like when I'm leading a tournament or something or contending, someone always has him and he gets like 3 assists. I don't know why that is. He's one of those guys that I don't like him and I don't know why. And it's probably some stupid bias that I have because of
it could be
getting beat by him in GPP or something.
Yeah.
All right, last game of the night, and then we'll go over some top stacks, maybe mess around with some lineups here. I put in Boston one, so I remember that. I really want to try out what lines we can fit with them. Pittsburgh and Edmonton. This one should not go overlooked. 3.1 implied total for the Penguins, 2.9 for the Oilers. Matt Murray going up against Cam Talbot. Should be a lot of shots in this game. We've got basically a one-line team in the Oilers going up against two very strong lines in the Penguins here. As far as matchups go, probably going to see McDavid go up against Crosby. Is that what you think here, Steve?
That would be my guess, yeah.
I didn't see what they did last year, but that's probably something I should look up just to make sure. I'm assuming they played in Edmonton last year, but Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I do recall them going head-to-head in most matchups they've had.
Yeah. Okay. Good to hear.
And McDavid's had success there.
Yeah. I mean, Pittsburgh numbers as a team are not that great, even going back to last year defensively. So I love the McDavid line. I wrote them up earlier. I like Yamamoto on that line a ton. And he's 4,600, makes them a little bit more affordable. So Edmonton won for me here. And then it's hard not to like Malkin and Kessel, but super, super expensive as a duo. You kind of need Hagelin in there, and I don't love including him in my Pittsburgh 2 stacks.
Yeah, it kind of hurts, right?
Yeah. I don't know, anything that you have in this game that sticks out to you?
It's pretty much the top 2 lines for Pittsburgh and the top line for Edmonton are my main plays. I think Klefbom's pretty underpriced there at 4,500. I'll probably have a lot of him.
Yep. He's the other guy that I absolutely love.
And I really do like Murray as well as a goalie tonight.
Murray in
Yeah.
GPPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if pretty much if McDavid doesn't come through here, then it's going to be Murray. So
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think he's the guy that popped in my model. I don't pay attention too much to goalie exposure, but I'm assuming he's probably up there. Adam Larson is a guy that I'll have some exposure to. He's an A value in Osmo's rankings. So he's 3K, plays in the top pairing and block shots. So I don't hate that at all for 3K. He's a guy that I played actually quite a bit when I was just, yeah, Corsi in chat. Yes, Jake, Larson, go. Yeah, so we've talked about Adam Larson. There's certain spots where you can use him. I think this is probably one of them. Just hoping for 4 or 5 block shots. Maybe he gets an assist here or there. So yeah, Larson for Hall. Great deal. Yeah, exactly. Ryan H. What a deal for the Oilers there. You'd hate to have McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Taylor Hall top line. That'd be terrible. Or with Draisaitl or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Too many mouths to feed. You got to get rid of one.
Yeah. You got to ship them off. He'll be on the ice a lot with McDavid too. That was the other thing also with Larson. So that top pairing should play a lot with McDavid, which is quite a bit of fun. Obviously, a better chance to score when McDavid's on the ice. What else? I think I'm forgetting something in this game, but any other like one-off guys like Hornquist that you're looking at? Lucic is 3,200 and on the top power play, but that's disgusting. So anything else that we're missing here?
I'm just scrolling through the pricing list to see if anybody pops out to me. Not particularly. I mean, I hate playing Lucic.
So do I.
Yeah.
I think I played him last year when he was on that terrible goal drought, and I think I got a goal out of him, and then I swore him off. I guessed right on the night he scored, and I don't think I've played him since, even MMEing. He just never pops up. He doesn't do anything.
William Yarvi maybe is a cheap one-off there for GPPs. Okay. Maybe him with Draisaitl.
Like that a lot.
Yeah, he's got it. He's super inconsistent, very low floor, but he can pop in with the occasional good GPP game there.
Yeah, 3,400 is great price to take a chance on him. Can you bink hockey without knowing any players? Yes. I think you can.
But you do need to know the line. You do need to know the line combos, though. I would say you can pretty much blindly stack a top line or in a second line or something like that, or 2 top lines together on the high total games and do pretty well.
You probably do okay throughout the season, but you're gonna have way more of an edge if you are looking into line matching and.
Yeah, Obviously, if you know what you're doing, you're gonna have a better chance. But
Yeah,
you could get lucky one night, I think.
for sure. Yeah, all I know is lines. I love hockey. Uh, oh, then why are
Yeah,
you asking for a friend, Raj? Uh, yeah. So let's do.
Just to reiterate in this game, it's the McDavid line and the Malkin line would be my preferences. But yeah,
I agree. Crosby, Gensel, and Rust don't really correlate that well outside of even strength, and we think probably McDavid's going to have that matchup, and I think they win that out more times than not here. So, not a great prospect here for Sidney Crosby. This Boston one line. This is what I wanted to do. So, with those three in, you have 4,600, 333, or I'm sorry, 4,633 per player. That is not that much. Is there any like super cheap line that you're looking at as a full stack? Maybe this Arizona 2.
you could run it back with some Ottawa. Yeah, Arizona 2. I do like that. Yeah, Arizona 2, maybe Ottawa for the game stack. What else?
Florida 3 fits.
Yeah, that could be okay. Florida 3. I don't mind that.
So you need like a. Oh wait.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
So you could do a 4-3-1 with Boston 1, Arizona 2, near mid-price defenseman here. Does Arizona have any of those?
Is Osterley still in?
Goligoski maybe. Goligoski's 2,700 and gets power play time.
Who's on the second power play unit?
Goligoski.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
So you can do a 4-3-1.
I prefer Osterley.
Oh yeah, me too. The problem is he's just 1,100 more.
Yeah. I haven't looked. Yeah.
Connaughton. He's 3,600. They're pricing up your boy Connaughton, Corsi. So now we got 7,100 left. You mentioned you like quick a little bit if you're diving
Let's try maybe,
down.
Can you get to Murray or no?
Murray's.
Or is that 7,100? Yeah,
73.
Oh, so you wanted? Oh, so you threw Burns in there. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you fit Rantanen in? What's he at?
Rantanen?
Yeah, Rantanen, 69.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can. Perfect correlation there. So now you got a 4-3-1 correlated goalie, one of the best defensemen on the night, Brent Burns, and then Boston.
You can maybe go from Goligoski to Carlo, possibly, if you needed to do that. If you didn't want to go too much Arizona.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The question is, can you stomach Arizona too? And I guess if you're stacking them up with the best line in hockey,
I think that's probably my preference for a cheap line.
Arizona 2?
Yeah, I'm not seeing many that you can fit. Maybe Columbus 2 you could fit. You can't get up to Burns, but
could you get up to
maybe Ottawa 1 you could fit with them.
Ottawa 1? Duchesne White.
Yeah, Duchesne,
Bonner.
yeah. Maybe Pittsburgh 3. I don't know if it'd be going that far.
So you have to get away from Burns.
Yeah. You couldn't really fit Burns with a lot of those.
Oh, that's fine. I was just seeing if you could fit Burns with Boston 1. That's kind of wild. I didn't think you would. So yeah, you just have to get like a min-price defenseman here. Actually, no, you wouldn't. You've got Carlo in there. So Clefbaum, 7,800 left. You can even put in Talbot. He's going to see a lot of shots as well. Does Nashville 2 fit with Boston 1?
I don't know. I don't think it does, but
I'm going to try it. Fiala, Turris, Smith. All right, so now we got 5,600 left for the, or 5,600 average for the goalie. We're going to need a min-priced defenseman here. So we'll just pick anyone. Marcus Pettersson. Yeah, you could.
You could get a pretty decent goalie if you got a. Yeah, okay, that's doable.
So you could do Pettersson, or you could even get up to. You liked Osterley?
I mean, just
if you're going to Arizona,
for correlation with that Arizona too, yeah.
Is there anyone that's actually good around this range? I'll put in my boy Adam Larson.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Larson's 3,000.
So now you got 8,200. You can basically fit any goalie besides, I think, Bobrovsky. So you can fit Crawford, Gibson, whoever you want. That's not bad at all. maybe Boston one isn't as price prohibitive as I thought they were. How many Boston for cash?
You just can't pair them with any of the solid top lines.
But you really need them to go nuts. Like,
yeah, you need 4 goals or something, 3-4 goals out of them.
Yeah, and
then like 1 or 2. Yeah, to bank you probably need 2 goals from the other line.
Right. How many Boston skaters for cash would you go here? Or like, is there anyone that you would start with in cash?
I don't think you have to at those prices.
I'm trying to see if Marchand is the cheapest. He's 71. Right? Osmo's got Pasternak as the best value. So, I don't know, maybe is he shooting the most out of the 3? It seems like it changes every week.
I mean, Bergeron usually shoots the most, but yeah. Pasternak's been consistent with his shots.
Cool.
And obviously he's on a heater.
What other line do you want to try this out with? Maybe a couple top lines we could stack together, then we'll get out of here.
What was our other top line? Just try something, maybe a McDavid line.
Perfect.
Because that's going to be a popular one.
David. The thing about McDavid, though, is like, even when he's popular, it seems like in large field tournaments, his line mates are like half his ownership. So, yeah. Like, I need to, like, that's also a mental bias I have, I think. It's just like, yeah, McDavid might be 25%, but Yamamoto might be 11. So it's not a 25% owned stack. It's an 11% owned stack type of thing.
Yeah. You can fit McDavid with a lot of good lines.
Can you do Sagan, Ben, and Pitlick?
Yeah,
you can. So you can do that.
You know, it's weird. Cruncher still has Pitlick on line 3.
Yeah, maybe we should email them, or I'll reach out to them maybe if they don't update that soon. Is it like that on Daily Faceoff?
Pitlick's on top line on Daily Faceoff.
Yeah.
I haven't refreshed since we started the show though, so maybe they've changed it by now.
All right, so you can do this. You can do Edmonton 1 with Dallas 1. Adam Larson. Now we got 3,800 to spend, so you could just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Man, you even go with Mata. Well, you've got Talbot in there, so you wouldn't want to do that.
You could go one of the Chicago defensemen, I think.
Which one?
I think Gustafson's 38.
Gustafson's 45.
Oh, geez. What am I looking at here then?
Could be FanDuel.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Like,
never mind. Yeah.
People can pick their favorite guy, or you can even go to Carlo. Have 900 left over. I think that's good. The annoying thing is that McKellen has no patience, and he'll flip Yamamoto with Dry at the first sign of trouble. Yeah, I think he did that. Was it last game or 2 games ago? I saw that Draisaitl saw 3 or 4 minutes with McDavid, so that's the only frustrating thing.
Yeah, I'm cool with the McDavid, Nuge, and Clefbaum stack.
Yeah, you're not going to leave in Yamamoto, or you're going to try?
I mean, I'm fine doing it. Yeah, if you're worried about that, if you're worried about him coming off the line or whatever, then yeah, you can drop him. But I mean, he's 4,600. He's not free, so.
Why in God's name do you keep picking Talbot? Just for correlation purposes. I don't know. Talbot, he's fine. As a correlation play for 7,400. Going to see a ton of shots. Ekblad, yeah, I could have put Ekblad in here. That's a good point. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Ekblad, that's right. You can go Bishop over Talbot there if you're not a Talbot fan.
Yeah, so you can go Carlo, Bishop, or Talbot, Ekblad. Same thing.
Yep.
All right. I'll say it again. Promo code Hit the Ice, free 7-day trial to anyosmo.com NHL premium package. You get my projections, Osmo's rankings, Fantasy Cruncher available for add-on, and then join us for the month or the year. You get access to the premium Slack chat, which is a lot of very useful information. Check out our NBA show. We've got a live before lock tonight for the 3-game slate. So if you guys are in the NBA after you're done making your NHL lineups, head on over to that. I think it's Chris Spags and Fast Eddie Fear. I can't remember who it is, but they'll be on this channel. So go watch that. Steve, any last words of advice for the people?
Not too much. Just the same thing every day. Just try to be unique. Don't run the same stuff out everybody else is doing. But for the most part, just good luck tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone takes something down.
Good luck, guys.